The very beginning of every journey, regardless of the destination, is almost always the same before things begin to get more interesting along the way.
As long as I can remember, when I was very young, music has been part of our lives. Culturally, everything revolves around music. Everything. Either in our religion, in procession, in every facet of our life. When children are born, when people die, it's always revolved around music.
One of the early genres of popular music in Nigeria was palm wine music. Named so because this style of music was frequently played in local bars to accompany the drinking of the ever so popular wine made from the naturally fermented sap of the oil palm, tapped fresh. The sound is composed of string instruments, guitars mainly, with shakers and hand drums. Some of the pioneers of palm wine music in Nigeria were Babatunde King and Irewolide Denge. Other shining stars of a palm wine genre were Tunde Nightingale, Ojoge Daniel, Speedy Araba, and others. Originally linked to the month of Ramadan as a rousing song for Yoruba Muslims after the fasting in the late 1930s and early 40s, Akbala music soon evolved into a form of general entertainment and became very popular during the 50s. The sound is composed of 2 or 3 talking drums, a rattler, a bell, and a thumb piano with a call and response vocal structure. 2 very notable performers of Akbala music were Haruna Ishala and Anyela Omowura. Not to be ignored were major contributions from the likes of Ligali Mukaiba, Babatunde Olatunji, Kasumu Adio, and many more. Juju music, once described by Ebenezer Obey as mambo without guitars, and perhaps one of the most popular forms of Nigerian music outside the country. At its core, the sound is composed of a traditional lead talking drum, referred to as the Iyailu in Yoruba language. The history of Juju music would not be complete without mentioning the creative genius of great musical minds like King Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, Ike Dairo, and later on Sir Shina Peter. Other notable Juju musicians in Nigeria include Admiral Dele Abiodun, S.L. Atolagbe, Prince Adekunle, and many more.
HIGHLIFE is West African, okay? You have the roots out of Ghana, and then maybe Sierra Leone, then Nigeria. But Nigeria made it broader, had music coming out of Bayelsa, what's today Bayelsa, which is the Niger Delta of the Four. And you have the Southwest, the Yoruba land, and then of course the Ikwa of the East. Again, all of those started coming to form a fusion, and then individuals started coming out with their own style. Victor Waifu, Osita Osadebe, of course you can never forget Rex Jim Lawson, who made HIGHLIFE even more popular than many people can imagine. And his music is still being played today. There are those who took combinations from Cameroon and Southeast Nigeria, like Prince Nico Mbaga, which is Sweet Mother. And these people created identities that can be seen as Nigerian music.
Other notable contributors to HIGHLIFE music in Nigeria are Sir Warrior, Oliver D. Coke, Sonny Okosun, Victor Owaifu, Orlando Owo, Victor Olaya, Celestine Uku, Onyeka Owonu, Bright Chimezie, Oriental Brothers, and more recently, Flavor, J. Martins, among others. You will, of course, remember the great showman, Bala Miller, and several others from the Jos axis, Dan Maraya Jos, and Maman Shatta, who though regional, were very influential in the genre. Bongo's Ikwe was probably the most dominant from the Jos area, though there were also many funk and reggae crews based in the north. The name Fuji was heavily promoted in Nigeria, Europe, and North America by Alhaji Sikiru Ayinde Barrister and Alhaji Kollington Ayinla, and soon became very popular by the late 1980s. Perhaps the most notable name in modern Fuji is King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal, known as Kwam1 or K1 the Ultimate. Modern Fuji, as practiced by the likes of Adewale Ayuba, Pasuma, Abbas Akande Obesere, Shino Akoni, Saheed Oshupa, Taiwo Currency, Sule Alao Malaika, and many more, has helped the genre stay relevant till date. Many popular musicians like Davido and Dami Crane occasionally infuse elements of Fuji into Afro-pop music. Made popular as the music for social change in the 80s, early Afro-beat music usually featured confrontational and controversial ideas designed to shock the listener and stimulate intellectual reason through social commentaries. Two notable Afro-beat icons are the late Fela Anikulapo Kuti and Orlando Julius Ekemode. Other prominent Afro-beat musicians include Femi Kuti, Lagbaja Adebantu, Seun Kuti, Dede Mabiaku, Tony Allen, and more recently, fusing it with pop, Wizkid, to mention a few. The success of reggae gave rise to the birth of many subgenres, some of which include Daniel Wilson's Ragamuffin and Raskimono's rumba style. One musician who helped sustain the rise of reggae music in Nigeria is the legendary Majek Feshek. Other key contributors to the huge success of Nigerian reggae music include Oris Wiliki, The Mandators, Jerry Jeto, Peter Saidotong, Andy Showman, Alex Zito, Evi Edna Ogoli, Wally Man, Blackie, and Bucci, to mention a few. The development of classical music in Nigeria can be traced all the way back to the history of the church in Nigeria and the motions of worship, which at the time was primarily classical in nature. In the 20th century, Nigeria produced a number of classical composers. Among them are Fela Showande, T.K. Ekundayo, Ayo Bankole, Christopher Oyeshiku, Joshua Uzoigwe, and Emeka Nwokedi, among others. Other notable names in Nigerian classical music include Ayo Bankole Jr., Wilberforce Echezona, Adam Fiberesima, Sam Akpabot, Steve Rhodes, Professor Laz Ekweme, and Francesca Yetunde, among many remarkable others. Money. If money cannot kill me, I don't go back again. This kind of love no be waiting up again. I can't read money. Afro hip-hop is a cross between elements of Afrobeat, highlife, and reggae, with mannerisms often associated with the hip-hop culture of North America. The genre dates back to the late 80s, but became popular in the 90s thanks to the support from radio and television stations, alongside the creative Afro-fusions from artists like Junior and Pretty, Remedies, and Tribesmen. Some key contributors to date are Two-Face Idibia, P-Square, D'banj, Face, Dare at Alade, Banky W, M.I., Tiwa Savage, Omawumi, and Waje, to mention a few. Burna Boy, Ice Prince, Olamide, Yemi Alade, and many more are gradually making their mark on the scene and carving out a path of their own in a massive industry with a very rich, colorful history and matching achievements. Today, we fondly remember and acknowledge the dedication, sacrifice, and amazing art of the Osita Osadebes, King Sunny Ade's, Ebenezer Obey's, Jim Rex Lawson's, Victor Olaya's, the Bobby Benson's, the Fela and Nicola Kukutis, and all other greats of Nigerian music.